we caught up for drinks a few weeks ago, and the way you talk about the creative industry, you really know what you're talking about. So I thought I would just chuck you a few scenarios and stuff like that. I just got a few talking points on the screen. What's your thoughts on hourly pricing? Charging hourly or project based or value based or yada yada?
Pricing is one of those really difficult topics for creatives, because I think a lot of your personality comes into pricing, where you might not feel so confident as a business person compared to as a designer.
Yeah.
So that's where a lot of people find comfort in full-time regular work. They don't have to worry about pricing or negotiating and figuring out their rates. They don't have to deal with that uncomfortable conversation.
Yeah.
When it comes to what kind of pricing I prefer, I think value pricing is a better deal for both parties.
Yeah, right.
Because you should have incentive to do like your job faster and better. Yes. Essentially.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your job shouldn't be based on how long it took you to do the job.
Yeah.
Because as you scale and get better.
Explanation then for people who don't know what value-based pricing is.
Well, value-based pricing is when you would work with a client to work out what the value of the work you're doing is and charge accordingly, rather than how long it takes you to do it. So you would say a $50,000 job wouldn't make sense in terms of a project that's only going to make $2,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
But for a company that's turnover is in the millions, then that kind of scope that's the kind of value that a piece of work in that area can add.
Yeah. And how do you get good at talking to clients with this language? And I mean, I'm sure a lot of clients would feel more comfortable doing hourly just because that's the normal. And I'm sure a lot of their employees would be on hourly. So how do you get that conversation away from hourly and start talking value-based?
That's a really good question. I think one of the people that champion value-based pricing way better than I can ever do is Chris Do of The Future.
Yeah, The Future. Yeah.
He's great. One of those people that is good at resolving conflicts and the hard questions, like how do I know, you're doing the work? How do I know that I'm getting good value? And he'll ask people to ask him those hard questions and give really good answers.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think in the end, it comes down to like demonstrating your expertise.
Okay.
And niching down. So if you're like, for example, Elliot, you were working on doing work for Adelaide based zoos, or Australian based zoos particularly. And if you continue that path and you became the expert of Adelaide Zoo, of Australian zoo branding and marketing, then you're coming in from a much stronger position. Instead of being one in a crowd, you were like one of the only experts. And that really speaks strongly. And if you can speak confidently about that expertise and solving your clients' problems, then they're happy to pay what it's worth.